I'm Alessandra Barrett, Special Projects Editor of the Journal of Commerce. I'm at our 14th annual TPM conference in Long Beach, and I'm joined by Jason Bergman, Vice President of Strategic Sales for North America for Damco. Thanks for speaking with me today, Jason.
Thanks, Alessandra. It's great to be here.
How has supply chain procurement changed?
Well, I think it's changed quite a bit. As much as a year ago to even as far back as a decade ago, I think there was a time in our industry in supply chain and transportation where decisions were really isolated down to maybe one or two specific individuals that were making their decisions in the best interest of the organization, but were unable to make it in a very siloed area. And I think today the supply chain arena has become so much more complex that there are multiple stakeholders involved in those decisions today that were once just made by one or two folks. So today, I think they're combining the procurement process with multiple stakeholders within an organization to include marketing, finance, information technology resources for sure. Everything down to even the store management for major retailers and vendor managers. I think part of it's driven by it's just a much more global, complex supply chain today. The decisions that are made in the supply chain have an effect that go beyond just transportation and logistics. They have a direct impact on merchandising. And I think it's also a market where folks are looking to have innovative decisions, but also risk averse. And when they're looking at that, they want to include multiple levels of feedback to ensure that they're making the right decision for the organizations in their supply chain arenas. So they understand, okay, this is how it's going to impact supply chain and transportation, but it's also going to impact marketing in this way, sales in this way, brand in another. So I think there's multiple stakeholders, multiple decision makers. And I think it's a good thing because I think the chances of success of the decision-making process and the procurement process deliver a better result because all areas of an organization are really considered.
How is Damco focused as a global player?
Yeah, that's an ongoing area for us of focus because the world keeps changing. And our most consistent approach to this is using our number one asset, which is our people. With a strong logistician background, an understanding of the marketplace to include strong operating knowledges of NVOCC, ocean freight forwarding, air freight forwarding, supply chain management. And I think where our focus has been on providing innovative solutions to contribute to an organization's goals with a global footprint, the best people with the best-in-class knowledge of logistics and transportation worldwide. And I think what we're trying to do is work with our customers to invest time in learning about their business. So understand that they have a procurement process to look at different sectors of their supply chain through perhaps an RFQ process or a tender process. We're also investing a lot of time in supply chain health checks, for example, where we take a look at the overall supply chain process, how it impacts different sectors of the organization, and looking for areas to provide a more efficient supply chain to reduce costs. It gets you away a little bit from that commoditization that we've all seen in the marketplace. It also gives us an opportunity to share data with our organizations that give us a better picture and tell the story of where they were, where they are today, and how do they get where they need to go in the future. And I think that has to be done through taking a real good look at how is their supply chain structured, what are the opportunities to change it through reduced costs in a more innovative supply chain design, in addition to where we also have to need to continue to work with them on cost reduction through the traditional procurement process. So I think working with best-in-class folks with a global footprint and a focus on supply chain management programs such as export distribution centers, how can we contribute to better utilization of containers, and also manage their air freight spend in a holistic approach to every asset of their supply chain.
Commoditization is the hot topic right now. What does that mean for your company? How are you sort of approaching that issue?
It means a great deal. I don't think any industry would say that they want commoditization to take place. We bring a lot of value to our customers. We're in a services industry. A lot of the things that we offer today have sometimes very little to do with moving something from point A to point B, but the visibility and the full transparency to how it's moving from point A to point B. And I think that's where we struggle a little bit with the commoditization that's driven by the marketplace because, quite frankly, we're in a market that our customers are being constantly challenged to reduce costs. They're being constantly challenged to question the way they're doing it today, and if they're doing it at a level where the costs are not only good for today, but where they're dynamic to move forward with them in the future. And that's apparent in life sciences, retail, industrial, all verticals are experiencing this. But at the same token, as a provider, we have to be very, very careful that we don't fall into an area where the commoditized sectors of supply chain are the only areas that we can bring value. I think it is a hot topic. It's a real important one. We have to make sure that the core competencies that we present to the market are ones that are needed, desired, and where folks see enough value, and where it also enables us to be a profitable organization, because quite frankly, we have that commitment to our employees as well to maintain financial stability and make sure that our core competency and our operating structure is something that there's mutual benefit to both the customer and the provider. And I think that's a fine line that needs to be established through good partnerships, investing the time in building strong relationships where you can be open and honest with the customers. Hey, this is where we can be profitable, this is where we can be strong, and that may mean that at times you can't be everything to anybody. And I think that honesty, that transparency, I think the customers respect it, and I think in today's environment, it's needed. So I think, how do we deal with it? We know it's there, we pay attention to it, we make sure that what we do right, and we also make sure that what we do is something that sustains a profitable model for us.
Well, thanks again for taking time to speak with me today.
Thanks, Alessandra. Thanks for taking the time as well. It's been a great conference. Thank you.
I've been speaking with Jason Bergman, Vice President of Strategic Sales for North America for Damco.